had just been explaining how my initial reaction going to an AA meeting where a gentleman that I had absolutely no way to relate to other than he was in Alcoholics Anonymous and had been for a while. And he said that all his life he had been wanting to be someone else, somewhere else, doing something else, and that was who I was. I had never understood I felt that way until I heard him say that. And that was the start of my transformation that began my growth in understanding who I really was. And the more I understand who I really was, the more I really was able to start understanding why Paul had to wait 13 years after he had his transformation, before he could start preaching to the Gentiles. How it took 40 years for some of the initial people around Jesus to understand and begin to write about what had happened to them. All they knew was something very similar to all I knew at that point. They just knew that they had been around this guy, and being around this guy changed them. They didn't know how or why, and it's very difficult to try to explain that kind of stuff. So I could really relate to the people, the characters in the Bible, because they were dealing with the same kind of, what do I say about this? And that was very helpful to me in understanding and really understanding the transformational experiences I had with the characters of the Bible, having had those transformational experiences myself.
When I read the Bible now, I said, these guys or gals or shepherds or whoever they were, they had something like that. Paul had something like that. It took Paul 13 years to figure out how to write that down to get permission to go preach to the Gentiles. It took some of these guys almost 40 years to get this stuff together to write some of the Gospels, trying to figure all this stuff out. It took me 17 years to try to start putting these notes together. So that's why I had an affinity for those characters that became very real to me. Wow. And I think the book sort of says that, brings that out.